never ready.
Welcome everybody to Sports Back Talk with Boley and Ringer. And wow, are you all wound down from the draft? Or you?
Well, yeah, I took it pretty heavy into the Thursday night one. Not as much Friday. Then by Saturday, just kind of doing so much yard work and garage stuff that I kind of gandered once in a while.
Sure.
And it was a good fun day on Saturday at the Bolstead household.
So were the Vikings winners, losers, middle of the road? Where are we grading them out at?
I noticed most are giving them B's, B+. I give mine of a B-, C+.
Okay. You're not happy that they didn't draft an offensive lineman?
Very unhappy that,
Yeah, okay.
especially when the two that I wanted dropped down. I mean, Billy Price went earlier than I anticipated. I mean, I think he went 15, 16 or something like that.
Something like that, yep.
But, and I had
You're looking
him.
at the kid from Georgia, and when he went like 22 or 3 or whatever.
Went to New England?
New England, yes.
Yeah. New England knows what they're doing. And I just felt
Did
this
they
was
feel,
more.
Did they feel
of
like
a-
they would have been reaching for some other lineman at that point, or no?
Well, I don't think so. I had those two graded out. James Daniels is one I'm talking about. And of course, the one I really wanted was Will Hernandez, who ended up, I believe, with the Giants. But, yeah, I was, I mean, nothing against Michael Hughes. He's very good.
Right.
But he has a little baggage, has had some issues, got kicked out of college and ended up going to Central Florida.
Probably what we learned. You know, you got to get kicked out of a college somewhere along. the way.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just felt for where they were, it's obvious they could have traded out. Maybe nobody wanted to trade in to that 30 spot, which is very likely. I thought they did a good job trading out in the third round. But anyways, I'll give them about a C+. Because Hughes is good, but I just felt they should have taken Hernandez or James Daniels at that spot.
I really feel like they should have got an offensive lineman, but you know, I don't know, was it you who tweeted that out today, or somebody else tweeted it out that apparently Spielman doesn't like to take?
That was me.
That was you. That doesn't like to take offensive linemen in the first round, and he could be right. I don't know. It's always.
What ironic, I don't know if you've seen it later when I got home, but Terrence Newman is coming back for, I believe, his 17th year, or he's 39 now, and so Newman has been signed and will be playing for the Vikings this year. So again, I think this draft of Hughes is more of a reflection on Mackenzie Alexander, who they thought was going to be ready, and maybe they're not sure about Trey Waynes yet either. I mean, he had some difficult times. He had some good games last year, but you never can have too many defensive backs.
I was going to say, we know Zimmer is a defensive guy, and he likes to have his defense, his secondary taken care of. I think it's there to put some pressure on some people and say, look, here we've got so many of you guys.
Yeah.
When the end of training camp comes around, somebody's getting sent down the road.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest question mark too, Ringer, is the O'Neal kid they took out of the University of Pittsburgh. He's only been playing tackle for 3 years, and he's a project, and kind of reminds me of an Isadora type. It just I just don't know if when they plan on putting him in, and Daniels or Hernandez would have started right away. Maybe not at tackle, but you still got Remmers who can play guard or tackle, either one. And I just felt the second round pick was kind of more of a reach than anything. And again, Spielman knows what he's doing. He picks athletes. That I read the Star Tribune on that, and he goes for athletes, and he worries about how they can play later on. But we'll see. I mean,
How about the kicker in the 5th round?
well, again, 4 out of 8 from over 50 in college. Don't they get to use them little T's still?
No,
They don't.
Not in college. No.
But still, 4 for 8. The kid has a big leg. I've always thought, kind of like in fantasy, real fantasy football, although I've done it, is picking defenses and kickers in the
last.
You should pick them in the last 4 rounds because it's kind of a crapshoot. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with Forbath at all. But we'll see. There's a rhyme or reason for everything. But I'll give the Vikings, like I said, a C+ grade. The Lions, who are in their same division, I give about a C+, and I thought the Bears and Green Bay both hit them out of the park, and I gave both them A's.
You like the fact that Green Bay went out and got some D-backs?
Well, they got one in Josh Jackson, who the Vikings could have easily taken. He was rated ahead of both Hughes and Shair Alexander, the first Green Bay Packer pick. So Josh Jackson, again, these are rankings. They're just there. There's something to read on a piece of paper. But I thought Josh Jackson was a steal of the second round. He's going to be good. They revamped their two defensive backs, and they're good to go. And, of course, the Bears, I thought, did a tremendous job. They got one of my 4 A's that I gave out, and you pick Laquan Smith at 8, who they thought they were going to end up getting Quentin Nelson at that spot. Yep. And then they pick who was the? Go ahead.
Come on through. Come on through.
You're on national TV. Don't worry about it. And then they who's the other guy they got? Chicago.
I don't know.
I had notes.
I did not watch any of the 2nd through 7th rounds. But I did not watch a second.
Yeah, they did get two starters. Tremaine Edmonds.
Oh.
And no.
Oh.
That was Buffalo. Buffalo had the best draft. I'll get to them later. But Chicago picked Laquan Smith, and then they also got a wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, maybe.
Okay.
I'm just making stuff up. So I don't want to do that. But I thought Chicago did the best in the NFC North. Green Bay did a solid second. Detroit, they did kind of what the Vikings did at number 20. They picked that Regnant out of Arkansas, the Minnesota kid. Kind of, again, another reach. They picked number 8 or 9 running back in the second round. So, anyways, we'll see. Drafts are whatever they end up being 3-4 years down the road, and we'll see what happens. But overall, Vikings not bad, but could have done better. What do you think?
I'm okay with it. I don't like drafting kickers in the 5th round unless they're killers. I mean, it seems to me that if you don't draft, somebody's going to be out there in free agency, maybe that you can pick up. And I know we hate to go through those missed extra points and those missed field goals, but that's obviously part of the deal and part of what you need to go through. But I thought maybe the 5th round was a little bit of a reach for a kicker. But other than that, like that same article you read, they went for athletes.
Yeah.
And see what happens. It's
this Sutton kid they got out of Appalachian State. He could be a starter.
Okay.
The offensive guard. He got him like 5th or 6th round, and Kuiper and Todd couldn't have enough to say about him.
Okay.
So he's could be a sleeper in this one, and could end up actually starting this year, maybe, and probably really realistic start next year. So, again, I had a lot of fun. Not as much as I have in the past. I tried watching both Fox and ESPN, and it was a little. I don't like the fact that ESPN's throwing on the guys from Saturday Countdown now. I don't know why, probably because they think they may have the most knowledge. But I like personalities. When I watch my draft, I thought Stephen Smith over on the NFL Network / Fox was trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like the old Chris Berman run shows. I've always enjoyed that.
Wingo was.
Yeah,
he looked unprepared to me.
He just tries to be cute and funny.
Just tell us what's going on and let the other people do their job. Your job is to direct the traffic here, not to be the traffic. And he was trying too hard to make it more than it was. Look.
Yeah, I could listen to Kuiper all day, and I'll give him kudos forever. And he was a cocky little thing 25, 30 years ago when this thing all started. And he even showed a picture of him. And I've always liked Mel Kiper. He's not afraid to stick out there, and he's battled some general managers over some of his comments. But very enjoyable. And then his protege, of course, Todd McShay. So good fun NFL draft. I can hardly wait. Again, April's a big month. Got the Masters and NFL draft. That's a good month for Bully.
What are we moving on to? You want to talk NHL?
Sure, we can talk.
Well, what did you learn this week? That Vegas is vulnerable, or does that double overtime loss not show that there's some chinks in the armor?
Well, it's kind of funny that in both series out west, whoever has the most shots tends to lose the game. I guess the most telling thing here that stuck out more noticeably in the Nashville-Winnipeg 2 games is that, and I commented on it today, is the Wild are so far away from playing at that level.
The physicality you're talking about.
Oh, the playoff physical hockey. They cannot play 16 games like that. They just aren't made for it. Again, Fletcher thought the league was tightening up on things like that, and actually it's probably gotten worse. I think there's more cross checks, more cheap shots handed out now. But just watching, Arvidsson and Wheeler and Scheifele and Johansson and Forsberg, these guys are good.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody on the Wild. Granlund's close, but he's a little smurf, and they just don't have. I mean, Coyle could be. And he commented today, "I'm getting ready for next year," and we're all like, "Oh, the 5th year in a row he said that." And I wish Charlie Coyle would watch Scheifele, Wheeler, Getzlaf, and Backus play, and the coach right there. That's the way you got to play. If you don't play like that, Charlie Coyle, your 6'3" frame, 210-pound body is a waste. Okay, you need to be a jerk. And one of my Twitter followers said, we're just Minnesota nice, and that's the kind of team we have. They're nice guys. There's probably, and I shouldn't say this because I'm speaking for all the other 29 other teams, but there's probably not a more giving, more charitable. Giving team and players than the Minnesota Wild. Okay, again, that Minnesota nice, but you also when you get on the ice, you got to turn that niceness to being a jerk, and the Wild just don't have any dinks. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, they don't have any jerks on their team, and until they do, I know it sounds stupid, why would you need jerks to win? Well, there's an intimidation factor, there's team factor. You got to play that way because you will get mauled, you will get beat up, and you won't be able to last.
Here's my issue, and I think I probably said this last year, and I'm going to say it again.
So you're going to bore me again with it.
I don't like the fact that we play the regular season one way and we play the playoffs a different way. Do they do that in every other sport? Do they do it in the NFL? Do they ref the games in the playoffs differently?
A little bit.
A little bit as far as letting them
pass interferences,
more, but not over the top.
Not over the top.
I mean, does the NBA, do they let them do more? I don't know. It just seems to me the game is so different from the regular season to the playoffs that it's not a good indication. And frankly, I don't mean to be this way about it because I love watching hockey, but it's not what I watch during the regular season. It's not what I have come accustomed to watch. It seems like it's more of a war of how many heads can you slap and how many times can you cross-check somebody before the referee finally says, okay, the 87th one, all right, I'll blow my whip. Well, I don't know if they've called a cross-check in this playoffs yet. I don't think I've seen a cross-check. I've seen a lot of these these little dinky slashes.
Hooks get called.
Oh, it's like, who's getting hurt by that? I mean, you're slowing the game down, but a cross-check in the it's just.
Your point is valid, and until the NHL and the labor agreements agree that, because you were absolutely right. Is it the same reason Washington can't get through and they win the regular season? Vancouver from years past with the Sedins and all the finesse players they had? Is that the reason all these great teams that finished first in the regular season, when it comes to the playoffs, they lose to the Boston Bruins, the LA Kings, and now you got the Nashvilles and the Winnipegs? I mean, Winnipeg's a mean. They're flat out jerks.
Jerks.
Okay? And Buffalo no offense, but he tries to hurt guys. I mean, who in their right mind, again, I'm not speaking for him, it's what I see with my eyes, who in their right mind goes on the ice and on purpose tries to hurt other players that they're playing against? He does. And it's very scary and very intimidating for guys in the Wild. You saw how they just, when they saw him come around, they got away from him. And because he'll get you and he'll try to hurt you. And the Wild aren't willing to pay that price to get hurt, and I don't blame them. And Arvidsson's been doing a nice job with them, but Arvidsson's a little quicker and he'll dish it out. But it'll be a good game tonight, Vegas and San Jose. But you got a great point. The NHL needs to lock this down and say, we're going to get tougher in the playoffs. We're going to get tougher in the playoffs.
I don't mind that if they're going to play. I don't mind that they're going to maybe play the playoffs this way, but then let them play like that in the regular season.
They wouldn't last. They can't play 82 games
so
like
then,
that.
So then,
Ringer, they
I
cannot.
know they can't. But so
Play
we can't
82
have
games.
We can't have two different leagues going on in
Yeah,
the same season.
I agree.
It's ridiculous. Okay, I want to talk about the series specifically. Vegas and San Jose
Sure.
1-1. Who wins?
Boy, Vegas has been the better team. They look like the quicker team, the faster team. Pavelski's played well the other night. If he's on his game, they have a chance. Evander Kane sat out. So we shall see. I like Vegas. I think they're legit. They're good.
Nashville, Winnipeg 1-1.
I still like Nashville, but they're going to have to win one of the next two in Winnipeg. Again, the Wild weren't real competitive, except for the first game maybe, in Winnipeg. So I am sticking with Nashville, but they will have to win, of course, one of these next two to even that series at 2.
Boston, Tampa in the
Wow.
East. Boston goes down to Tampa, takes game 1. What was it, 6-2?
Yeah. Do you notice a difference in the series in the West and the East?
I have not watched the game out of the East
If I was a player, I would say I want to play in the East.
because you're not going to get whacked.
You're not going to get killed. You won't. They hit, but there's nothing malicious, and they take their man out and they play the game. Let the good players be noticed, and that's why Pittsburgh, by the time they reach the Stanley Cup Finals, they can play at that.
Because they're not as beat up.
Not as beat up, but I just don't.
You're still sticking with Tampa in that series with Boston?
Boy, Boston looked good, but yeah, I got to go with Tampa. I think
Okay.
there's too much star power.
And Washington and Pittsburgh 1-1, right?
Pittsburgh can't get beat in a 7-game series. Washington should have probably won both the games, and Pittsburgh comes out of there with their split. And I'd say probably 5 games. I think they'll win their next 2, and
Wow.
then close it out in Washington. Yeah.
Okay.
3 in a row for the Pens to win that series, 4-1.
Wow. There's a prediction for you, folks.
There is a prediction for you, folks.
Anything on the NBA that you want to mention?
Well, the big story out of Minnesota is Jimmy Butler's already hinting that he might want to go back to Chicago. I think the experiment might be close to being over after Wiggins signed that long term. Wiggins is, I don't know what they can do now. They've already signed him. The only thing they could do is possibly trade him to some team that thinks he could turn on.
So
But
let me
hey,
ask- so
I'm
let me-
sure there's a team like Utah out there that can turn a player around like a Ricky Rubio. I'm sure somebody can
I
do the
don't
same
know.
with Wiggins.
You know, Rubio, and I don't take this the wrong way. Rubio, because I've been listening to it all week. Rubio has one
He's hurt
game.
again.
Everybody's like, "Oh, we should never get rid of Rubio."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. Don't give him just one game because there has been 90 games already." Anyway, let me ask you this question, and this has been in my mind ever since Jimmy Butler came onto this team.
Yeah.
Did Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns and these guys feel like, well, they don't believe in us because they had to bring in Jimmy Butler. They had to bring him in to be the star. So Wiggins was pouting in his proverbial beer all season about, oh, Jimmy this and Jimmy that. And Jimmy gets all the press clippings. And here I am, I'm shooting 5 for 22. And I just can't get my confidence because they don't believe in me. If Jimmy Butler leaves, does Andrew Wiggins come out of his funk and start playing maybe the type of basketball that we think that he might be able to do?
Boy, that's a catch-22 on this whole conversation. If Thibodeau gets axed, which I wish he would, I don't think he's a good fit there. I don't like what's going on, and then Butler's definitely gone.
Yep.
So they're going to keep Thibodeau just to keep Butler happy. But while you're doing that, now you're hurting Wiggins, and so it's a catch-22. The three have to figure it out together. Wiggins, Towns, and Butler, and just sit down and say, listen, there's a thing called defense. We all need to play it.
Yeah.
And somebody's got to start throwing up threes. Yeah, all these other teams that are winning are throwing, all they do is shoot threes.
Baby.
I mean, I don't think Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could play in today's NBA.
Be interesting to see how.
Could Magic Johnson play in today? Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could.
Well, and I mean, but would they be the players that they were 35, 40 years ago?
It's a whole different game.
It's a-
I look at a Robert Parrish and Akeem the Dream and Patrick Ewing, and you just wonder, would they just be role players scoring 10 to 12 points a game?
Very
now?
possible.
So the game has changed, and the Timberwolves on paper are really good, but based on 3-point shooting and defense and heart, geez, why is it Minnesota teams just lack heart, or is
I
it
don't know.
just us just thinking that they lack heart? But
Could be they were a little harder on them than we'd like than they maybe need to be.
we're
but-
always so nice. And then there's an article today in the Minneapolis Star, I think it was Sunday too, but just saying, it's tough to be a Minnesota fan, and the Minnesota fans finally had enough. Okay, and maybe the best way to I guess go against what's going on is just quit buying your tickets.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Quit buying the seats, and things have to change.
I have to say I was disappointed that Cleveland won yesterday. I would have made the
Really?
East much more exciting if LeBron wouldn't be there, and because it really doesn't
Okay,
matter.
other than
it doesn't
Ola-
matter who comes out of the East.
other than
They can't
Oladipo.
beat Houston or Golden State. I don't care. The NBA championship is whoever comes out of the West.
Well, LeBron can shut down Harden. Then what?
Then what?
Yeah, who's Paul's going to take over?
Houston's going to shoot 27,000 threes. And
I think everybody just looking forward to that Houston Golden State series. If that doesn't happen, it'll be a miracle. But now Houston starts tonight, right, against the
Houston's
Utah Jazz.
got played game one. On
Ricky
Saturday.
Rubio's out 10 games. What a surprise! Injured again.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who do you got winning the East?
Coming out of the East
Toronto?
now? Probably Toronto, I guess. I'd probably like
Boston's
to see
too hurt.
I don't like Boston. I've never liked Boston, so don't anybody get whatever about that. I think Boston had a tough series with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I think he's going to wear them down. I could see Toronto coming out of the East. I don't think Cleveland's got. They just can't seem. If they had trouble with Indiana,
Who's the fourth team over there? Toronto, Cleveland, Celtics, Philly. Philly could be a
Philly could be an
sleeper.
Yeah, they could be a sleeper.
See, that's what the Wolves should be like. Those two teams have kind of been in the same mold.
Yeah.
Okay, they got their big guy, we got our big guy. They got Fultz. So the team should be similar. Only they're up here and we're down here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll go with Toronto, and then I'm going Golden State. If they get
Curry
back is the key there. So
It should be fun. I probably won't watch any of it, but it'll be a good read in the paper.
absolutely, Minnesota Twins. Oof. Tough last week and a half. Lost 9 out of their last 10, if I've done the math correctly. Lose twice at home to the team with the worst record in the major leagues. In the
First series that they've won this year, Cincinnati.
Wow. Yeah,
Let me ask
they
you a
were
question.
5-20 coming in.
Let me ask you a question. I like asking you questions once in a while. The Twins obviously have been involved with a lot of rainouts,
Yeah.
snowouts there, missed like 3-4 nights in a row.
Yep.
Head down to Puerto Rico, played 2 games in 7
4
days,
days, yeah.
5 days, but counting travel. When they came back from Puerto Rico, they have not been the same team. Do you think all the snowouts, do you think they're back in the spring training mode and they have to get their feet back under them, or what's going on?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. The not getting to play. They played on Thursday against the Chicago White Sox essentially 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they
And
played
didn't
good.
Play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was a big party down in Puerto Rico Tuesday, Wednesday.
No.
There wasn't a whole lot of probably practicing going on. Not a lot of hitting practice going on. You get a day off on Thursday. You get into Tampa. The weather's still nice. You go up to New York. You get your butt
kicked.
absolutely handed to you. And frankly, they kind of took the confidence of that team and just, showed their beating.
3-1 lead in the ninth.
Yeah. So I think there's some things that have to come around. I think, and this might be whatever. Byron Buxton being out of the lineup has hurt this team, even though he maybe didn't have a great batting average. When he did get on base, he's a threat. Sano has not been around. He's been worried about his tight hamstring. I'd like to say to you, Miguel, I shouldn't be talking, but maybe if you dropped 20 pounds, bud, you wouldn't have such tight hamstrings, okay?
Yeah.
So I want Paul Molitor to sit Miguel down and say, look, we know that you're the big whatever around here, and we want you to have your strength, but we also want you in the lineup 145 times a year, and if we got to worry about you running out of whatever and tweaking your hamstring every other week, well, that just isn't going to cut it. So part of it is that type of thing, and they were getting some clutch hitting. They were making some things early in the season. We haven't seen that happen, and the pitching, frankly, has not looked good. Phil Hughes, the experiment needs to end. He needs to He needs to go away. I know they're trying to milk him until Santana comes back, and I heard he's throwing. I read in the paper the other day that he's throwing. He's not up on the mound yet. We need to get him back, and you know, frankly, the other starting pitchers have been bad, but the middle relief, and of course Fernando Rodney, you know, there's some issues there. So they pick up the guy from New York, this Hale guy. He comes in for one day, right out the door, and it's kind of like, holy, jeez.
Yeah, they tried to option him. He refused, and then basically now he's a free agent.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, the Twins right now are disappointing. The scarier part is the American League Central is so poor. Even though they've lost 9 out of 10, I think they're only 4 games or 4.5 games out of first place.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a weekend.
It's May 1st tomorrow, and you're only 4.5 games maybe out of first place. I guess we'll have to take it.
Yeah. Here's the way I look at it too, Ringer, is 3 of our key cogs aren't playing, or if they are, they're. Why is Buxton always hurt? Is he going to be one of those players? And I understand the migraines, right?
And then he broke his toe.
Yeah, Percy Harvin. But certain guys, Ringer, we know this. We've been involved with enough sports. Certain guys are just injury prone. Okay? So Buxton might not ever reach the level he wants to reach, or he should reach, because he's always injured.
Yep.
Sano might not ever, again, I'm like you know, we're not, you know, throwing from our glass house, but might not ever reach the potential he has because he refuses to stay in shape in the best years of his career, okay?
Yep.
And then you got Polanco being undisciplined, taking things he shouldn't be taking, and of course he blames it on everybody else except himself. So there's 3 key parts of this team. So now we're playing Robbie Grossman, we're playing, not that this is relevant, but Mitch Garver and Adrianza, and who are these guys? You know, they're not major. And one last thing, let's don't be like the Minnesota Wild and the Buffalo Sabres as far as partners on who we want to pick up. Tampa Bay's been a doormat forever. Why do we go grab 3 Tampa Bay players?
Because we brought in their guru to be on our thing, and it hasn't panned out.
Yeah, the old analytics don't have anything to do with heart again. So we'll see.
I was kind of hoping when Morrison hit that home run on Friday night and gave us a nice lead in about the 3rd or 4th inning, I was kind of like, he's finally going to break out of this. And then, and then the bullpen, and
they're playing like 4 outfielders against them. It's like, what a, you know, the game's changed, and I don't think for the better. You know, it's just gotten slower, and then you got players, the shifts on, and I guess players need to start bunting against it or something. But
I agree.
You're taking the bat out of the number 3 and 4 hitters, though, and then what are they going to start bunting to get on? I mean, again, that
to me that is exactly what you got to do, and I don't care about the rules of the game and what. Hey, look, if you're going to push, if you're going to shift your third baseman over where the shortstop's playing, I'm coming up and I'm bunting.
I don't care what inning it is. I don't care what the score is. Like that guy from, remember the Burials got mad?
Yeah.
No, that stuff's done.
Put the bunt down and make them play defense the way it's supposed to be. And you want to play the game? Fine, we can play the game too. And okay, so Miguel Sano doesn't come up and hit a home run, but by gosh, he got on base. Isn't that what it's all about? It's not about whatever else. It's about getting people on base. Doesn't matter how you get there. Walks, hit by pitch.
Yeah.
Just get on base. That's what Moneyball used to say. Anyway.
Yeah, and then solving the problem with 7 players out in the field. Pitcher and 6 fielders.
There you go.
There's no more shifting now.
Yep.
What do you think? But then you ruin the integrity of the game because there's probably not a more statistical-driven league than Major League Baseball, even though it's tarnished.
Yeah.
But anyways.
As long as we're talking about baseball, I was at the college game this weekend against Itasca, battle for first place in the Northern Division. I have to mention, Rainey's down 4-3 going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Kid gets to about a 2-1 count, leadoff batter, pulls one down the line, solo home run, ties the game. Next pitch, next batter comes up, next pitch.
Gone.
Left center field, and when he left the batter's box, he had the hand in the air, and I'm like, oh gosh, that doesn't have the distance. But the center fielder went right up over the top of the 4-foot fence, and they won 5-4.
Wow.
So it was pretty exciting on back-to-back pitches. And
where'd they play?
Where?
Yeah.
At Sheila.
Oh, they did.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
Awesome.
And ended up winning game 2, 6-4, and then lost. They went down to Itasca and lost 2 on Sunday. Then so they went 2-2 against probably the best team in the Northern Division. So it looks like if they take care of business the next couple of weeks, they hopefully will be making the region tournament in a couple of weeks and doing the things that they need to do.
Tough to win on the road in community college ball, is it?
Well, you know, the scary part is Rainy River's got this kid from Florida. His name's Kevin Alisea. Left-handed pitch, really good pitcher, really nice kid, can hit the ball. He's a baseball player.
Yeah.
Wednesday, they are playing Hibbing at home. He loses 1-0. The pitches at Gem. They lose 1-0. They go down to Itasca on Sunday. He pitches the first game. They lose 1-0.
Wow.
But their top pitcher pitching. So he kept them in the ball game. So they've got a couple of good pitchers, and their hitting shoes are coming around. So it'll be fun to see.
So they start playoffs in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. The region tournament actually starts May 17th down in St. Cloud.
So basically, yeah, they really didn't have much of a.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to get their 4 games with each of the 4 teams in the Northern Division, and they'll get their 16 games in the division, and then they'll take the top 2 teams are in, and then they've got 3 divisions in the state of Minnesota, and the 2 of the 3s of the 3 threes will make it into the playoffs.
So 3-3-2.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, it was good for them, and of course the Broncos got a couple of home games in last week, both in pretty frigid conditions.
Yep.
Lost to Eveleth and a loss to Hermantown, and of course the girls softball didn't really, but they're sitting at 5-1, and lots of home games coming up this week. I know by the time you watch this will be over. About a doubleheader on Tuesday at home. Softball.
Who do they
against
play
Cherry.
on Tuesday?
And then the baseball team plays Hibbing.
Who do they play tomorrow?
Yep.
Hibbing?
Softball Cherry, baseball Hibbing.
In the falls.
In the fall.
Oh, that's called a doubleheader for
Well, both teams are playing at home, yes.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, the week just stays busy, and, of course, Little Fork and the Falls will play the next 2 Fridays. Softball on May 4th and baseball on May 11th. So I'll do a little shameless plug here. Make sure you're listening to K104, because we're going to have a lot of those games on. We'll have 6 regular season games on here in the next couple of weeks, so I'm getting cranked back up to get back into the game mode. I haven't done a game since like May 10th or March 10th. It's like, will I even remember how to say things on the air?
Well, so you kind of had a life there for a month. You know, it's like,
this is
my
what it would be
goodness.
like all the time. Yeah, May will be interesting. So June, and so.
anyways,
This is our 70th show, is what you're trying
I'm
to
saying it out there. I don't know if it is, but it sure sounds impressive.
This is probably.
Wait till I name our 100th show next week.
There you go. See, you won't even realize
You
how
know,
fast.
I put it out there. I got some likes, and everybody, okay, good.
And nobody.
We got 22 people in the crowd tonight
There
only.
you go.
Normally we get a crowd of 40. I put it out there for everybody to see in Twitterville, and
Boom.
only 22 show up.
Tough
We need bigger crowds than that. Yeah. See, there's many, 2 of the many, but yeah, we need bigger crowds here because we're usually a little better in front of a crowd.
Yeah, we get going. You guys got anything you want to ask?
No questions at this time.
No questions?
at this time.
No, I don't have really anything. We can call her short. Don't
We can
take us
call
too
her?
serious.
Thanks, everybody.